Have you ever looked at a Bozzy chart and just felt completely overwhelmed? All those symbols and characters? Well, we're about to change all that. We're going to turn that complicated-looking chart into a really clear personal story, the story of your life.
So this is the single most important idea to get your head around. Seriously, those 4 columns, what we call pillars, they aren't just random bits of data. Think of them like the 4 acts in the play of your life. Each one tells the story of a specific era with its own unique challenges and, of course, its opportunities.
Your whole life's timeline is basically mapped out across these pillars. The year pillar? That's your youth. The month is your early adulthood. The day covers your prime years, and the hour looks at your later life. But, and this is super important, you got to remember these age ranges are more like symbolic guides, okay? They're not rigid deadlines. They just represent the big energetic themes of each period.
Let's start with Act 1, the year pillar. This is your foundation. It tells us all about your roots, your family background, and the kind of environment you grew up in. It's also like your public persona, the first impression you give off to the world.
All right, moving on to the month pillar. This is the chapter where you really start to step out into the world on your own. It's all about building your career, defining your work ethic, and just figuring out how to navigate society as a young adult. This pillar also holds some really key insights into your relationship with your parents during that formative time.
And now, we get to the day pillar. Okay, if your life is a story, this pillar is the main character. It's you. It represents your absolute core personality, your true essence, your innermost self, especially during your prime years. This is hands down the most important pillar in your entire chart.
And tucked away inside that all-important day pillar is another little secret, the day branch. We also call this the spouse palace. This part specifically tells the story of your relationship with your partner. It reveals the kind of energy you bring to a partnership and what you really need in return, which makes it absolutely essential for understanding compatibility.
Okay, let's talk about the final chapter, the hour pillar. This one looks toward your future, your legacy, your kids, and what you ultimately want to build and leave behind. But a quick warning here, and it's a big one. This pillar is completely dependent on having an accurate birth time. I mean, if you're off by even a little bit, this whole chapter becomes, well, pretty unreliable.
So we've mapped out the timeline of your life, right? We have the 4 chapters. But what gives each chapter its unique flavor, its own energy? What are the actual building blocks of these pillars?
Well, the answer is in what we call the earthly branches. These are the elemental energies you see at the bottom of each pillar. You probably know them as the 12 animal signs, but that's really just a memory tool, a handy nickname. At their core, these signs are just codes for specific elemental forces, wood, fire, earth, metal, and water.
This table here lays it out perfectly. Each animal sign is really just a stand-in for an element. So, for example, if you see the tiger or the rabbit in your chart, you're looking at wood energy. If you see the snake or the horse, that's fire energy. This is the fundamental connection you need to make, and once you get it, everything starts to click. And we can make this even simpler by just grouping them into their elemental families, you see? Wood energy always shows up as either the tiger or the rabbit. Fire energy always comes through as the snake or the horse. Seeing these patterns really helps demystify the whole system and shows you the underlying elemental structure of your chart. But of course, just when you think you've got it all figured out, Bozzy reveals another layer. Because what you see on the surface of each pillar, that's really only part of the story. This brings us to what I like to call the iceberg concept. The main element of an earthly branch, like wood for the tiger, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's what you see above the water. But beneath the surface, there are secondary, hidden elements. We call them hidden stems, and they add all this nuance and complexity and subtle influence to that pillar.
Now don't worry, we are going to dive deep into those hidden stems in our next explainer, but for right now, you have everything you need to start reading the main story of your chart. So let's make this practical.
Go ahead, grab your chart. First things first, find the animal in your year pillar. Let's say it's the tiger. You now know that's wood energy. So ask yourself, does the theme of growth and learning resonate with your early life? Okay, second, look at your day branch. That's your spouse palace. Identify its element. This is going to give you a massive clue about your core self and what you're really looking for in a relationship. Look, your Bozzy chart isn't some mystical fortune-telling tool. It's a blueprint. It's a story map of the energies that are shaping your life's journey. And that story is written right there in those pillars. The only question is, what chapter are you in right now?